Guys, before this video starts, I want to tell you about this sick website that sells hella cheap NBA jerseys. The website is ringchasers.com. I copped myself a few jerseys on there a while back, and I honestly don't know how their prices are this cheap. If you guys want to get a sick deal on a jersey, make sure you check them out. Link will be in the description, and use code LQG at checkout for an extra 10% off. What's going on, guys? It's LQG, and today I'm back with another video. So today we have for you guys NBA Legends Explain who the clutchest players are. Make sure to let me know down in the comments below who you would take if you had one shot and a chance to win the game. For me, it would definitely be between Larry Bird and Michael Jordan, but I'm interested to see who you guys would take. Also, make sure to smash the like button. Let's see if we get 100 likes on this video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel to catch all the new content. We're releasing daily videos for the rest of 2021, so make sure you don't miss out. With that being said, let's get into NBA Legends Explain who the clutchest players were.
But if you can just draw it up right now and you say, okay, I got one guy who can take the last shot for my team, that guy is going to be...
It's between Craig Elo and Michael Jordan. I'm gonna go with MJ, I think.
What makes him the guy, or what makes anybody the guy you want with the ball in his hands in the last couple of
The
seconds?
mentality that we've talked about of, wanting the ball and not caring if you miss and all that. But I think for the very last second shot, you really have to get the ball to a guy who can create a shot out of nothing, I think, because the coach can draw up the greatest play ever, but defenses are good, defenders are great athletes. A lot of times that shot isn't there, and that's why if you have a guy like Michael who can create space, or Bird who can give you that little shove and then shoot from behind his ear, and those guys are the ones who can do it under duress, and that's the key.
Sometimes it's not the guy, the Michael Jordan that gets to take that shot. Sometimes it's a guy who, like Derek Fisher, when but they're in San Antonio, Derek Fisher hits that shot, Shaq. Take me back to that night.
Well, before the play, Tim Duncan hit an incredible shot because I fouled him. I was in his face, I pushed him, and he threw it off the glass and it went in. So Phil had drew up the play for Kobe because, Kobe is, phenomenal when it comes to, last second shots. But like I said, the defense knew Kobe was getting the ball, so they doubled off Fish. He threw it to Fish, .04. He threw it up and it went in. And before the ref could say something, I grabbed everybody. I was like, let's go, let's go. But I would have to go with Jerry West, Mr. Clutch, because he was a great shooter. He always wanted that pressure, and from all the highlights I've seen, he's hit more than he's missed. I'm a little biased, but I'm gonna go with Reggie Miller for the simple reason. Think about this. You go back and look at my era. Michael was the greatest player, everybody knows that. But I think it's fair to say, we look at all these highlights, I think there's more Reggie Miller highlights than any other player. Clearly there's been plenty of great players, don't get me wrong. But if you go back and look like when you've seen highlights, the guys made incredible shots down the stretch. You're like, wow. Reggie Miller is at the top of most lists. Going back, that years when they were playing the Knicks every year, scoring 24 points in a quarter, 8 points in a couple seconds, you're like, come on, man, you're kidding me. Those some of the greatest highlights. So, and I tell people, I said, Reggie Miller's the best shooter I ever seen. Because when me and Reggie played on the Dream Team together, when Reggie got locked out the hotel. So I gotta tell y'all, I gotta tell you this story.
Charles kind of fits seamlessly right now.
This is a great story. So they were giving us a hard time about staying at the Dream Team. They're not even part of the Olympic movement. They're staying at a 4-star hotel. Reggie pipes up in the news conference, trust me, it's not a 4-star hotel. So we go play a game that night. We get back to the room. The hotel has glued his door. He can't get in his room. It was hilarious. Somebody at the hotel that got pissed, they had filled his keyhole up with glue. He couldn't get his room for like 3 hours. It was great.
Where'd you sleep that night, Reg?
Hey.
So if he's going to pick you as the guy to take the last second shot, and even today, when you see guys, when you see end of game scenarios picked apart, maybe it's a LeBron James, and LeBron will take the shot, or LeBron will dish to somebody. Say, well, hockey, if you're the star, you've got to take that last shot. How many times do you think you passed up the last shot because somebody was open?
Maybe only a couple times, because I want the success. It's 50-50, and that's how I always broke it down in my head. Are you going to be the hero or the GOAT? One of the two. So a lot of times, even if it was a tough shot, I was going to take the shot.
So you feel it's your obligation as
I really do.
as the guy on that team?
As the captain, as the leader, as the guy that's, walking through the brick wall first, yeah, I think it's your obligation to take the shot.
You know, what's crazy in my era, I've got a chance to play Michael, who knocked down the shots. All the guys we're talking about, then Kobe, and then Reggie. These are all the two guards. So those are the three guys that I would pick, because these are all the three guys that I got a chance to play with, that I knew wanted it and had a history of making these shots. And it's just unbelievable at that position how many guys would get the basketball, the two-guard position, want the basketball, and also could get a shot off in all different type of styles. Obviously, Reggie didn't handle enough. I handled like a Kobe and Michael, but his movement without the basketball, those three guys, I put those three guys, right 1, 2, and 3 of getting that last shot.
Guys I play with, I would have to put 2 in, I trust you more for your practice effort too. So if you're a guy that can shoot and you work, and I know your work ethic and you want it, and Chris Mullin was the first guy that ever took me to an NBA workout, and I didn't understand it. He shot in the morning, he worked out, and then we practiced, and then he shot, and then we got in the hot tub, and that guy, he practiced enough where I would give him the ball blindly. And then, Mike, those two guys, and playing with them, I played with a lot of great shooters, but I got to practice with them, and we would play 3-2-1 games, and we would do, we had a connection, and I trusted their work ethic. Just like you say, Reggie, you always hear, I think you said it last year when we were talking about, all the great shooters, and you were like, listen, to be a great shooter, you have to practice. You have to shoot. And so those guys I've seen shoot 1,000 shots, definitely would get them the ball first.
I would put Reggie out there, and I think Michael kind of goes in a different class, even when you talk these kind of talks, like who would be the guest, because we know that he's pretty much the greatest of our time. But there's a bunch of guys that would fit in that category that they don't get talked about all the time. Nick Van Exel was one of those guys who took big shots down the stretch and was consistently, when he was from Dallas to the Lakers, always would take big shots. Vernon Maxwell was another guy. Big shot Bob.
Don't say his name.
Big shot Bob.
I thought about it. I was not going to say his name.
Guys,
I was not going to do it.
Chauncey Billups, guys like that who may not be the guy who you figure that could create their own shot, but somehow, some way, when the game's on the line, the ball would end up in their hands, and that's not an accident.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, sometimes, Shaq, or do you find it that way when you say, how does the ball always wind up right there, whether it's the Vlade tap out to big shot Bob, and it's always in his hands, always with the horn going off. It's amazing.
Rebound, O'Neal, coming up short, Horry for the win!
If it wasn't for big shot Bob, I probably would only have 2. He had some incredible shots. Another guy you forgot to put on that list, Glenn Rice.
Glenn Rice?
Yeah. Glenn Rice. So, the main thing is you have to want the ball, and you just have to let it go. I've never been a shooter, but like I said earlier on Xbox, I'm an animal.
We probably didn't mention Larry Bird enough either. I know his name was brought up a couple times, but in his prime, and we saw one of the highlights against the Hawks, that guy was ridiculous at the end of games.
You know what? I thought we were talking about guys we played with. Of course, it's Jordan Bird and this guy. Yeah, I just had to make sure I got that straight. I was.
But I'm telling you what, if you're talking about current players in today's game, I like Carmelo Anthony with his hands on the ball. I like Dwayne Wade. I think he's an unbelievable finisher in today's game.
Can you be a good clutch shooter without being a good free throw shooter? Meaning, does that guy think at the end 3, 2, 1? Because you could hit a guy with a pump fake and just say, okay, I'm going to line and get 3 free throws. So that defender had to check you. They couldn't go for your pump fakes.
Well, how bad are they? A 60, 70% free throw shooter?
I don't think you can, Tris. I think because you can't be fearful to go to the line and making those moves, because a lot of those times the move isn't the shot, and it is the foul, and you have to go through, and it never gets to be a clutch shot. And you have to go down and knock down those free throws.
So that's it for this video, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. Like I said at the beginning, we're releasing daily videos for all of 2021, so you don't want to miss out. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.